Welcome everyone to a very special episode of Pubcast. Because this is our first Pubcast in our new sponsor pub, the Thomas House. The folks at Thomas House have very kindly brought us in and they're our sponsors, and we are recording here.
You fucking wish. This is the pub from Reddit. This is the St. Patrick's pub from Reddit, bitch. This is not only the finest fucking establishment for hardcore and random psychobilly and ska from time to time.
There's like dark wave nights and all sorts of
It's cool as fuck and also a meme pub at the same time. You love to see it.
And the proprietors are pretty sound.
They are. They're very kindly
Staff are lovely.
Have agreed to be our sponsors for the Pubcast and allow us to record here. And because of that, we decided to up our game a bit. So as you can see in front of our faces, we have microphones. Now, D-Man is not with us for this episode because he's off doing family matters.
That sounds suspicious. Sometimes
you've got a holiday.
You gotta work out some stuff for the family. You
gotta work out some stuff for the family. Look, I've heard you apologize for me in the past. I'm like, that makes it sound like I'm being put down a well in a small town. Like, you know,
isn't that what happens to you?
Look, I just mean you have to say that.
Oh, okay. All right.
PR answers.
Right.
Kim couldn't attend. Darren couldn't attend. Let's,
Well, you have to. People want to know. Inquiring minds.
Yeah, we can't all go to Japan.
Yeah,
family matters.
So yes, so it's just the three of us for the kind of the first episode here, but there will be more episodes here in the TH, as it's fondly called by its patrons.
Yeah.
So we really big shout out to the owners and thank you so much for having us here. We are in their kind of venue area in the downstairs where behind us plenty of bands play. And I've been here. They used to do gaming here as well many moons ago on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I've been in one or two sessions in here playing Blood Bowl and a few other bits and bobs, which games the names of me escape me. Maybe some settlers, you know.
Guard looked good playing Blood Bowl, actually playing it.
Oh, we did. No,
No, not like moving the things around, like
actual, like,
orked up. Like he's already got to be half orc.
So thanks to them, we're here now recording a podcast. So as always, I'm Wayne.
I'm Kim.
I'm Jill.
And welcome. So how have you all been? Like, I feel like
grand, so not a bother. Not a bother.
I moved my other half into my house, so it's our house now.
In the middle of your street, or
no? You see, I go to the Stephen Stills one.
Right.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house. Should be singing that in here. Should be singing that in here.
Not in here. Singing ska in here, right?
Yeah, I know, but they will tolerate scatters.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome except Nazi punks. They can fuck off.
Yeah, they can fuck off.
They can fuck off
from everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm now living with my significant other, me fella. And the house is like a fucking bomb site. It was one of those moments of, I do have a lot of stuff because now there's more stuff in the house and now we have to Tetris the whole thing.
The secret is if you're a pop culture maven, you gotta not have another pop culture maven because you're gonna have tons of shit.
Well, you see, the other thing is he doesn't have as much pop culture shit as I do. The boy cooks though, so he has like,
his kitchen
cast
stuff.
iron fucking kitchenware and
Some of us do come with those accessories. I also have a cast iron skillet.
I'm sure.
He's multiple ones and crock pots and whatnot.
Skillet, that's another genre they play here.
I bought an air fryer.
I have a 15-in-1 Ninja that is an air fryer and a dough proofer and God knows what else.
I don't. It's kind of. I feel like I'm betraying the fact that we're now sponsored by Thomas House by talking about a fucking air fryer.
Yeah. Although
you want to see the amount of booze he moved in as well. There, keep it on theme.
We're back on it, and an ass ton of music as well.
Yeah. So
and video games.
And video games.
I will regale the listeners and the viewers with the tale, very short tale of when I first informed my daughter that Jill has a boyfriend. No, Jill and her boyfriend who came back from Japan and bought Amelia very cool Godzilla hairband. And I presented Amelia with the Godzilla hairband and I was like, this is from Jill and her boyfriend. And her reaction was like I expected it to be like, oh, Godzilla. That came afterwards, but the first reaction was like, ew,
I can't believe you got oohed like on the swimming bus from school.
I know.
Love that.
By a 5-year-old. I'm so proud of her.
There was 2 of them in my house too, because I had gifts to give my Waynes, and they also, I said, this is from Jill and her boyfriend, and we did get like whatever the country version of woo is.
Woo.
They're just like, I think my son actually went, as in I am filing this information. It's being filed.
In a filing cabinet.
In a filing cabinet. He's great though. We love him.
Liam.
Oh, do you know what we should do? We should get him here and grill him on his intentions. Wouldn't that be like a Pubcast episode?
I've known Liam too long to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Also, it'd be a bit confusing with 2 E's in the one shot.
I know.
For the visually impaired.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very much
And I, as a low vision specialist, I would be conscious of people with cataracts having trouble with
You're just thinking of the
Liam and
viewers.
Wayne in the same show. Oh, it's all I'm thinking about. It's all I'm ever thinking about, folks.
So it has been, I think, I
Nerd Brown.
have been kind of reabsorbing a lot of pop culture recently because I was very focused on my day job for a long time. Now I needed to readjust my brain because I was in full work mode. But now I'm readjusting and kind of absorbing a lot of pop culture stuff. And I had the unfortunate pleasure or very displeasure of watching the new Flash movie.
Oh my god.
Now I will say, right,
I'm gonna get
precursor with this, and I don't care about saying this on video and on audio. I did not pay for this fucking movie. I had no intention of supporting Ezra Miller and all his fucking shenanigans.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Because they are despicable individuals.
So you got it from the high seas.
I fucking did my usual full-on, I'm virus.
Well, your usual thing is to support art directly. So this is the unusual thing.
Yeah,
and I love that,
As I've gotten older, I actually have gotten less and less of a scallywag. And I've paid for subscription services. Although the current situation of the world has me thinking that one over.
Yeah, so...
But
Nobody
we'll
pay your
get to
TV
that.
license, people.
Yeah. So go on ahead, Wayne.
So in terms of the bollocks out of this, because I think everyone did. I think nobody paid to go see it in the cinema.
No.
It's now being DC and Warner, DC Cinematic Universe and Warner Brothers' biggest superhero movie.
And that's from
to date.
That's from the studio that re-released Morbius.
Well, no.
I remember. Yeah. Oh fuck! I forgot.
This is the studio that petitioned or that gave us fucking.
This is from the studio that hid
Superman.
Batgirl.
Oh yeah.
Just
hid
wrote it
Batgirl,
off.
Batgirl, and they fought for this film.
Fought so hard.
I saw a few people. I saw a lot of people tweeting about it.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like they fought for this piece of shit. It's at its heart. It is the story of Flashpoint. It's trying to be anyway.
Right.
So the story of Flashpoint is Barry Allen.
Can I stop? Yeah. Can I stop you for a second? Because I want when you start to not stop for 25 minutes. So I have a question before that.
Right.
How come? Right, this film came out a while ago. How come? In Twitter terms, it's been out a while.
Sure.
How come everybody's talking about it the last 2 or 3 days and putting up screenshots from it?
Because it got released on digital.
So it could be ripped. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go for it, Wayne.
So it did. It got released on digital. Okay.
We should have gotten popcorn.
And so the basis of this story is, and the Flash story like this has been done in the TV series.
Yeah,
better,
CW did it. And when I was still watching the Flash, it was still
fucking better.
Good.
Much fucking better.
Spoiler, folks.
So far, all the multiverse stories for the CW Arrowverse or Flashverse movies, TV series have been fantastic.
Like Grant Gustin is a whopper Flash.
Yeah,
like
as is our good friend John Wesley Shipp.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Wayne's mate.
Oh my god, he's so
Smells
charming.
like vanilla. Gorgeous.
Once he smiles, girls,
Honest to
lads,
God.
everybody, I swear to
I
God.
remember the Pubcast from the time.
He does a ding in real life.
Do you know when you meet somebody, and it's like when you meet somebody who's like the epitome of what you would think a Hollywood hunk would be.
They have that.
From the silver age of Hollywood.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. When they had mystery.
Yeah.
Right? They're kind of like that kind of silver age-esque individual. This man had this. I've rarely seen this in anyone that I've interviewed. Or
20 charisma.
Right? Full on plus 20 charisma. And it's not even a dump stat. It's not a dump stat. They have charisma plus other stuff.
Uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Full on. But this John Wesley Shipp is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. And he's unbelievably attractive.
Wow.
And it's kind of like, when you see people on TV and you kind of go, I'm sure they are attractive, but when you meet them in person, you go, oh, they're all right.
Yeah.
I once met an MTV presenter from many, many moons ago, very attractive woman on screen, like a ridiculously attractive woman, lovely person. But when I met her in real life, I was kind of
She's
like,
just regular.
oh, you're just a
Right.
regular person.
She's just lit well. Yeah.
Extremely well made up and lit. Lovely person, right? Regardless of it. But John Wesley Shipp is literally one of the most handsomest people in the universe and one of the nicest people in the universe, which also maybe adds to my dislike of this film, because this takes the story of the multiverse from the Flash's point of view, which gives DC and Warner Brothers the opportunity to literally cram this film filled with some of the best cameos they could possibly put together. The story is essentially the story of Flashpoint, where Barry Allen decides to use the cosmic treadmill to travel through time to save the life of his mother and stop her from being murdered, and also not have his father blamed for that murder, released from prison.
And then he fucks the universe.
Right? And then he fucks the universe. He basically breaks it. And it fractures and goes off into multiple different variations. And some heroes don't exist, some characters don't exist, other characters do exist, other heroes, new versions of these heroes come to light. So when this Barry Allen does this, how they represent the cosmic treadmill and how they represent the multiverse is one of the shittiest looking representations of CGI I have seen in a long fucking time.
Are these the spheres?
I saw the clips. Yeah.
They have this weird, it's kind of like so the very, very, very first time animation was ever created, everyone's probably seen this. It's those spinning lamps that the
horse running,
right?
yeah.
That's what it is. It's essentially that with the multiverses. But the problem is that they seem to have designed all of this with the development kit of a PS3. That's what this looks like.
Is it because it's in the thing so much it would be expensive to do it right? They should have...
I don't understand that, because the budget for this thing was fucking
massive,
I don't even know, and that's why I have the iPad here.
While you're looking that up, Wayne, one of the interesting things from the SAG-AFTRA and the writer's strike has been people asking, how come there aren't more $10 million, $50 million movies?
Bless you.
Bless you.
And the person being interviewed, the actor or the writer who's been interviewed, said it's harder to steal money when the budget is $10 million.
Yeah.
You can steal money from $140 million movie.
Well, this was a $220 million production film. That's not including the marketing. So the marketing was another $200 million on top of that.
Yeah, easily.
Right? So they doubled. So and Matt Damon explained this on Hot Wings.
$500 million.
On Hot Wings.
On Hot Wings. So
on Hot Ones?
Yeah, Hot Wings.
I love that fucking show.
Matt Damon explains it.
Sean, get me on the show.
There's a viral video. Everyone's probably seen it. I could probably link it in the video.
Yeah.
It's going to be production on this motherfucker.
Hey!
There's
Post.
So I'll just clip it in here.
Well, so what happened was the DVD was a huge part of our business, of our revenue stream. And technology has just made that obsolete. And so the movies that we used to make, you could afford to not make all of your money when it played in the theater because you knew you had the DVD coming behind the release, and 6 months later you'd get a whole nother chunk. It would be like reopening the movie almost. And when that went away, that changed the type of movies that we could make. I did this movie Behind the Candelabra, and I talked to a studio executive who explained it was a $25 million movie. I would have to put that much into print and advertising, right, to market it, what we call P&A. So I'd have to put that in P&A. So now I'm in $50 million. I have to split everything I get with the exhibitor, right, the people who own the movie theaters. So I would have to make $100 million before I got into profit. And the idea of making $100 million on a story about like this love affair between these two people, yeah, I love everyone in the movie, but that's suddenly a massive gamble in a way that it wasn't in the 1990s when they were making all those kind of movies, the kind of movies that I loved and the kind of movies that were my bread and butter.
There it is. And that's Matt Damon explaining the kind of production thing of films and how they used to be and how they are now. This is a $220 million movie, not including marketing costs.
So
There's another $200 million lost by Warner Brothers, right? So they pivoted this whole thing. This whole thing pivoted on the fact that they were bringing back Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the small bits that he's in the film, he is the highlight.
Yeah, of course he is.
He doesn't seem to like give a fuck, which is beautiful. It's Michael Keaton full on like not give a fuck mode. Wow. But Ezra Miller is in this as two different versions of Barry Allen.
If the problem people had was the presence of Ezra Miller, how very unfortunate that there's two of the cunt on the screen at any time.
Right? Yeah. And not only is he playing an older Barry Allen, who at the start of the film is very scatterbrained, very ADHD, very like, kind of like, And then he becomes the older Barry Allen because the version that he meets is actually 18-year-old Barry Allen. So imagine an 18-year-old Ezra Miller, fully hyped up, caffeinated, just got his flash powers, or their flash powers.
Really obnoxious.
And it's just unbelievably obnoxious. And it's the older Barry Allen mentoring the younger Barry Allen. That is the crux of the film. So it's not even... So what happens is Barry Allen does the time travel thing. He saves his mother and is on his way back to the future. Spoilers, by the way.
Oh, spoilers for this piece of shit.
Spoilers. He's on his way back to the future, which is a running joke in the film as well. Back to the future, and then all of a sudden,
keep those words out of your mouth.
He is accosted by an entity in the Speed Force, or on the and that knocks him out of the cosmic treadmill and into the timeline where 18-year-old Barry Allen is.
Okay.
And his mother is still alive. You see this creature, knocks him out. Now, if you know your Flash history and you know Flashpoint, you think that is the character of Edibod Thawne. I think Edibod is his first name. Thawne is basically the reverse Flash, or the bad Flash, right? Dressed in yellow, red eyes. In the story of Flashpoint, that's who Barry Allen goes up against, and that's who is the main villain. But you see this creature, and he kind of looks like this... In true DC Cinematic Universe style, the villain is a pile of needles with eyes. That's what it looks like.
That's what they all look like.
They all fucking look like.
Steppenwolf look like.
They all look like these. It looks like somebody just took a magnetized the body and fucked needles at them, and that's their fucking villain. Like Doomsday was the same.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf was the same. Even in the Snyderverse, they just gave him more fucking needles. And then you see this thing, knock him out. And Barry sees it. He's like, what the fuck is this? Knocks him out of the time stream, sees it, the time stream closes, the cosmic treadmill closes. He's left in the universe with 18-year-old Barry Allen, and it meets him on the day that he gets his powers. It's like, right, you're going to get your powers today, you're going to become the Flash. And the young Barry Allen's like, oh, I'm going to be a superhero, yay! And the accident happens, but older Barry Allen gets caught in the middle and loses his powers.
Oh, okay.
So he becomes a mentor to the young Flash, teaching him how to use his powers. His powers are slightly different now because they were channeled through the old Flash.
Right, in the old canon.
So he now has blue lightning instead of gold lightning. And that's how you differentiate between the two.
Okay.
So they go around.
That'll be important later when old Barry gets his powers back.
Yeah,
surely.
and they're both on the screen together at the same time. You can't get confused. Fair enough. All right way of differentiating between the two. But you're basically neutering one Barry Allen, so you essentially get an origin story. It's for about an hour of the movie. It's an origin story of the Flash. It's not like older Barry Allen going, "What the fuck was that thing that just knocked me out of the Speed Force? What was that? What was that? Why do I have to go find out what that was and stop it because I need to get back to the future?" Yada yada yada. That's not even. Older Barry doesn't even think that. He does nothing comes out of his mouth where he goes, "What was that?" Like if something collides into you.
Yeah. In your
secret
secret universe place.
And you're gonna go, what the fuck was that? You know, that's just the way it is. But he doesn't. He looks at it weird and goes, huh? And then realizes where he is, and then is all like, oh, my man's alive, and goes and gives her a hug and stuff, and pretends he's 18-year-old, even though it's typical high school movie. He looks 35 and he's playing an 18-year-old.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, we love it.
But he takes young Barry Allen, mentors him for about an hour of the film. Younger Barry Allen gets into hijinks with his powers, ends up naked a couple of times, as you do. And there is actually a weird moment that is so... It kind of broke the fourth wall a bit, where young Barry Allen learns how to phase and ends up phasing through the floor and finds himself in a young woman's apartment naked.
Wonderful, yeah. Oops.
Not too unlike what happened to the real Ezra Miller.
Wouldn't you cut that? You know? Wouldn't you cut that?
And even in the film, the older Barry Allen's like, that's not good. That's not good. You don't want to be doing that. That's not good. Don't do that. Put some clothes on. It was so on the fucking nose. It was like, oh.
Sorry, so they're wolf rules. If he phases his clothes, don't go with him.
He was naked to begin with.
Oh,
No, he wasn't. Sorry,
so
he wasn't. He was learning how to phase. He had a bathrobe on, and the bathrobe, and he just went through the floor naked.
So wolf rules.
Yeah.
The
So
wolf
he
cinematic.
he eventually does learn how to phase his clothes with him.
Okay.
And objects and stuff like that. But Barry, the older Barry, just tell him, look, you'll eventually learn how to do this properly. So they then go looking for Bruce Wayne, and they think they're going to find Ben Affleck, but they find Michael Keaton, right? And it's old Michael Keaton, like Batman Beyond-esque, grey hair, but he's still very fit. He can kick ass. And he decides to join them. Spouts a couple of usual, like, let's go. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I'm Batman.
He actually says that.
Does the whole wink to the camera
Do
thing.
that.
Anyone that's a fan would be like, hey. It's
No,
like
anyone
Batman.
that's a fan.
You know, anyone that's a fan of the 80s, not 89 Batman.
Anyone that's a fan and has been lobotomized. I didn't think he should have said, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts in 1989. I didn't like it in 1989. I thought it was un-Batman-like behavior in 1989.
And cringe as fuck.
Yeah, it's really cringe.
Oh, yeah.
Want to
When
get
he did it
nuts,
in
let's
that-
get
he did it in
nuts.
that Michael Keaton's like,
I know, but that's Michael Keaton. That's
yeah,
not Batman.
That's not Batman.
Yeah.
Batman never
Exactly.
do that.
So, he goes to Batman and he goes, right, Batman's like, I'm not going to help you. Good luck to you. Fuck off. Get out of me gaff. But he's like, no, we're going to break into the Batcave and we're going to steal your supercomputer because you're not using it. Because Batman's retired at this point. He's
Right.
old and shit.
What do you do with the giant
Okay.
penny? I dibs on the giant penny.
I actually can't remember. There's no dinosaur, no T-Rex, there's no giant
Come
penny.
on.
Right?
Come on, people.
But we get the obligatory shot of the original Batmobile from 89. We get the obligatory, eventually we get the obligatory shot of the Batwing, even though it was destroyed in the 1989.
It was.
But it did come back in the returns. And we did see it in the subsequent show.
We did.
But this is all based off full-on Tim Burton Batman. Right?
Oh yeah, we're ignoring Schumacher.
We're
Batman.
ignoring the Schumacher Batman.
As
For
we
now.
should.
For now.
For now. And keep that in your pipe. We'll come back to it
Yeah.
later. So, Batman eventually comes around and decides to help because Zod turns up out of nowhere
For
to give you a
fuck's
villain.
sake.
For
Zod
Is Michael Shannon in a I could care less about this competition with Michael Keaton?
100%.
Does he win?
Michael Shannon is doing. You remember? I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you remember in.
Well, I already referenced Wolf, so I think you're
I'm
fine.
going to reference Kevin Smith. Remember in Clerks 2?
Yeah.
When I think it was it Clerks 2? No, it was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. When they go to Hollywood and they take the piss out of Google hunting.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you have
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
and the
playing
director
themselves.
is there, and he's just like, you're going to give us some. He's there counting his money. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He's just counting his money. That's what Michael Shannon was fucking doing.
Right.
Michael
Right.
Shannon was just like, because he just showed up, shot some green screen stuff, and they used his face and other things. Like the CGI is so bad in this. There are times you go, is that Michael Shannon or is that meant to be the
So
Zora-esque
the
character?
fact that it's supposed to make you go is ruined by the fact that you're going to go.
Oh no, that's the entire. That is the face you. That is the face you make for the entire movie.
I have to
For-
watch this
for every
thing.
piece of CGI.
No, you don't have to.
No,
don't
I
do it
got
to
that
yourself. He
whiff.
took one for the team.
Oh,
Yeah.
like this, the CGI in this film pretty much makes you go, "What's that meant to be?" For about 90% of the movie,
It makes you go
Holy shit.
instead
Yeah.
of
100%. Things that make you go, "Huh." Like that's the fucking movie. That's the name of the episode. But like Shannon, like Zod shows up, and they're kind of like, "Where the fuck is Superman?" Because Superman hasn't turned up. You see a shot of Henry Cavill Superman from behind at the start of the film.
That could be anyone. He's got a generic
I don't know.
head.
I know his butt.
Yeah,
I know.
I think we did.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought
Right.
it just his head. Okay.
So, and I am all over the place. This is how I'm going about this, but it's Pubcast. Come on.
Come on.
So,
You would respect nothing less.
yeah. At the start of the movie, we get cameos from Ben Affleck's Batman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman for like a fucking blink and you'll miss it second. Right? Where Ben Affleck gives his most un-Batman-esque performance ever.
Oh, Ben.
Right? Now, I
Well, I think he's protecting his heart.
you
I
know.
think he's protecting his heart from like, I had a chance to be Batman. I gave it my fucking all, and that's the dog shit you gave me. So right now I'm gonna play this as if it is a dog food commercial and you can fuck off.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. And Ben Affleck has been hard done by
Yeah.
by superhero films because
Yeah.
I still stand by the fact that the director's cut of Daredevil with him in it is fantastic. So, fuck
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
right? And and it's been said before on this podcast.
So
by-
reader, it
by
isn't,
one of
but
the OG Pubcast presenters, Simon Fitzgerald. He says Daredevil, the director's cut, is one of the only things in life that is made better with the addition of Coolio.
R.I.P. Coolio.
Yeah.
Pouring out for Coolio. So, now I'm a fan of Daredevil, but I am not going to sit here and tell anyone it's good. I am going to say it's up there with Mission Impossible 2 to me. I love it, but it's staying. It's Dove Impossible, Motorbike Impossible. I make no case for it. I love the shit out of it, but I make no case for it. I'm so embarrassed. So, so we're going to just counter Wayne's Daredevil thing.
When people have a problem with Daredevil, it's got so much good in it. It's got Ben Affleck, Jennifer
It's
Garner.
so camp.
It's got Joey Pants as a reporter.
Joey Pants is amazing. I actually addressed him as Joey Pants one day.
Yeah, so did I.
And he didn't mind.
Yeah, Kevin Smith is in it as himself.
Yeah.
And it's just obviously the cinematic version is
it's frightfully silly, Wayne.
frightfully silly.
And consider
I haven't seen the
Daredevil is
director's
not
cut.
a silly character.
Director's Cut actually adds in some proper backstory for Matt
does.
Murdock and Happy.
We
Not
forgot
happy.
Colin fucking Farrell as
Colin Farrell.
Bullseye.
We never miss.
I played Bullseye, huh?
Do you know what? I watched a lot of stuff with. I'm sorry to segue. I've watched a lot of interview stuff with him over the last, filmed over the last couple of years, done for the Banshees promo and the movies before. And I've actually a lot of love for Colin. I thought he was an arsehole back in the day.
No, because the way he was treated.
He was
treated
terribly.
that way because he was so good looking. And we didn't know what to do with him. And
It's a
he was
costume
treated
with
like
Captain
dog shit.
Yeah.
But he was treated as other because he was so fucking good looking, and his talent was diminished because he was so good looking. And the fact, I feel like Colin Farrell's career is just one person overcoming the country's generational trauma, and he's doing it, and he's an absolute highlight, absolutely the best of us, and we do not deserve to claim him because he's his own thing.
If you want some quality Colin Farrell content, there's the Actors on Actors series that I think
my God, they're so good.
There's a lovely one with him and
Jamie Lee Curtis.
no. There's a few of them with him in it, but there is a Jamie Lee Curtis one with him. There's him and Hugh Grant.
Really?
Yeah.
Love Hugh Grant.
So Hugh Grant did Florence Foster Jenkins at the time was the movie he was in. And Colin had done the Batman. And then there's the Actors Round Table that they do as well. And I've found myself falling down a YouTube hole watching them. But you think they're short and you go, oh fuck, I've been watching this for an hour.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Let Colin and Sam L and fucking Brian Cox and whoever talk to me about
Brian Cox is such a crotchety old fucker.
and we love him for it.
Oh, but you should be able to be whatever way you want to be. But anyway. So Wainford, we know that the Batfleck was a thumbs up.
No,
not in it. We know that Ben Affleck could have played the shit out of Batman if he was given a chance. And I think it is self-defense that he didn't bother his hoop with this. So continue. So we've got Batfleck.
Yeah, sorry.
So at the start of the film, Batfleck shows
and
up.
Gal Gadot.
shows up. Henry Cavill CGIR shows up because it's not him, it's just a CGI thing. He's not into that at all. It's
Please send the R shot to her so she can verify. I have seen The Witcher as well, but I reckon Jill has seen it more than me, so she
I don't
probably
think he shows his bum in The Witcher, does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Bear? Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
But there's a lot of
Yes, he does.
shots.
But so
Sidelong. You get a sidelong look at it. You can extrapolate from raw data.
All right.
You can extrapolate from raw data.
2 chicken fillets. So yeah.
Played rugby though. It's such a fucking turn off. Oh Jesus.
Sorry, what?
He played rugby. It's the biggest turn off in the world. It is the biggest fucking turn off on the planet. Playing rugby, hanging out with rugby players.
Blade and wasps.
He would not play enough Warcraft in the world to get me over the fact he played rugby in England.
It's fine, I'll get
Sorry.
Get under him. Sorry,
Thanks, Jill.
terrible.
She's taking one from me. That's really good. If you could
Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead. Look, the bear is back today. It dropped on Disney Plus today.
I'm so
been
excited.
frantically falling in love again.
Fucking videos related to the bear because I don't want to potentially spoil it. on
No, don't. So,
Anyway,
all the videos are cooking videos. Know what I'm saying? So, Gal Gadot shows up. Does she say the word stern?
She doesn't. She doesn't really do much, to be honest with you. She just stands there and then fucks off. That's like it's probably the most lackluster performance.
Now I saw Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, no, so did I.
First movie was great.
Yeah, we know.
Second
Oh,
film was fucking.
how did they make?
Even with Pedro Pascal,
How
like,
did they
even
make
said that.
Pedro Pascal look like that?
Yeah. So,
him so much.
it's just the Flash movie careens on like they're basically doing fetch quests for the first hour.
Oh no!
Okay, and they realize that there's no Superman in this universe, and they're wondering why. And then they discover that Batman has done his research, and he comes to old Barry Allen, powerless Barry Allen, and says, when I say old Barry Allen, he's in his fucking 20s, he's 25 or
Jesus,
30 or
right,
whatever.
okay.
He's not that old, like.
Yeah.
But he all of a sudden matures because the 18-year-old looks so fucking stupid compared to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Michael Keaton comes over. I'm not even going to say Batman anymore. Michael Keaton comes over and gives him a file or drops a file off while he's sleeping. And he realizes it's a file about a Kryptonian or an alien.
At least it wasn't an email this time. Wait, it's still a file. It's bad.
Yeah. Full on, like, you know. Here's our mailing list for Justice League.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe they did that.
Now, actually, right, not to be Billy Connolly about it, but now, I completely forgot about it, and I can't believe I forgot about this. One of the worst pieces of CGI you will see in any fucking film.
Oh, yeah.
I could probably bash it together quicker and better right now in a half an hour. But there was a sequence at the start of the film that involved the Batfleck and involved Barry Allen rescuing a bunch of babies from a hospital.
Okay.
Do you remember the dancing baby in Ally McBeal?
Yeah. Ooga chaka, ooga,
Right?
ooga.
Multiply
ooga,
that by
chaka.
about 10 and then throw in a rescue dog or a mental therapy dog and a screaming nurse and then a load of mousetrap juxtaposition-esque things happening, right? And it's an opening sequence that's meant to make you realize how powerful the Flash is.
Okay.
Right? But
Not a bad way to open.
So shit. It looks so fucking bad. I've spoken to my friends about this on our WhatsApp groups. When we realized it was online and everyone started the torrent the bollocks out of it, they were like, I'm watching The Flash. I got to the baby bit. I turned the fuck off.
Oh, really?
It's
And that's
the
the
first
opening-
scene.
It's the opening 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Nearly
There's your
2.5
endorsement,
hour
folks.
film, 2.5 hour movie.
Holy shit.
And the baby scene happens, and like I've had a couple of people go, I just turned it off. It was fucking garbage. It was just garbage. There's a scene where he saves a baby. So this part is where there's a hospital. Terrorists have blown up the base of the hospital to steal for some reason in this maternity hospital, they were storing really lethal gas and chemicals.
Of course they were. That's what you do.
Simpsons episode.
Right? So is this hospital that seems to be, for the most part, a maternity hospital because there's a fuck ton of babies in it, but for some reason they had a lab in it that had this chemical that if it fell into the water supply, all of Gotham would die in a half an hour.
We've already
According
done
to
that.
Alfred, who turns up, Jeremy Irons is in it for about 10 minutes,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
Alfred tells Batman for a bit of exposition going, well, I'm Batman. If we don't save it, it's going to get into the water supply.
We already
Using
did the
Jeremy
water
Irons.
supply twice.
Yeah. So I don't know whether that was meant to be a nod to Nolan. I really don't understand that. But in this maternity hospital, they really
Don't
dangerous
nod at that.
chemicals.
He wouldn't like it. Don't
Right.
nod at him.
So, so I've had people tell me they watched that baby scene, but in the first 10 minutes just turned the fucking movie off. And in fairness to them, they were probably better off for it.
When's the last time you saw the video for Crazy Frog's version of Axel F? Because that animation is unimpeachable.
I have never subjected myself to that.
I mean, it wasn't really a serious question, but I reckon I would like you to watch the video for Axel F by Crazy Frog. I can't believe I said those two things together. Sorry, Helmut. In some ways, Crazy Frog was a superior artist to Harold Faltermeyer. If you watch I reckon the effects in the Crazy Frog Axel F video are probably better than the baby scene from what you're describing. We'll put them, we got to put like against like, Got to do that. I normally, my go-to for bad CGI is
This sounds like
Quidditch.
it's like a weird CGI version of Hot or Not. Remember that website, Hot or Not? where you-
Yeah, let's do Hot or Not between Crazy Frog Axel F and the baby scene from thing. Oh, I haven't put it in there. Well, obviously not hot. Hot-looking animation. Good-looking animation. This sounds fucking dire.
So
Now, my sniff test was never going to have me anywhere near that thing.
yeah.
No,
But
I wasn't going to watch it.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it careens on for about an hour and a half until they discovered that it's actually not Kal-El that's being kept inside this giant, and they actually describe it like this, a giant metal scrotum. That's what
They
young
say
Barry Allen
that.
describes
Okay,
it.
okay. But
Says
he's
it
so
on-
zany,
He's so
right?
funny.
He's so
Yeah.
zany.
He's in touch with the wacky kids, and it turns out it's a female version, so it's actually Zora L
Right.
or Zora Kal-El, the nephew of Jor-El, or niece. Sorry,
Niece.
the niece of Jor-El. So it's kind of like if you order Superman off Wish type of a situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she does nothing but brood.
Oh, don't
And
do
punch
that.
things.
The
has-
the people who are going to watch this movie hate women already. Stop
Yeah.
doing this.
She has
They don't need extra
she
stuff.
has fuck all dialogue.
Right.
Fuck all dialogue. She just looks angry and punches shit. Kills a fuck ton of dudes. Regular dudes. Kills them. Full on non-Superman-esque. Just kills
Yeah.
them. And then just says nothing. Says maybe you could probably have her whole dialogue probably takes about 5 minutes of the movie. Right? And that's collected because she's there until the end. About 5 minutes of the movies are full dialogue. And Ezra Miller is the rest of the whole, or 2 hours and 20 minutes of it, because he just talks twice with 2 different characters.
Oh my God. And one of them's annoyinger than actual Ezra
Yeah,
Miller. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So they talk for a long time. But anyway, so they decide, right, we've got our...
It's like Darren listening to me and you talking about Drag Race. I left you out there, Jill, because I'm sorry you're just not as annoying as us.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Yeah.
So they have their super person. Yeah, we're gonna get points in, right? So we're gonna take a break here now. We're gonna get points.
Oh, very good.
Back in 2 secs. So we're back. We were talking about the Flash, I think.
Yeah, please go on, because I don't know. It's an all-timer for me. The Star Trek Beyond episode of Pubcast.
No, Star Trek Beyond Into Darkness. Beyond's a
Star-
good one.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry
fucking
to that
jackets and
man.
beyond.
I'm sorry to that man. So Star Trek Into Darkness, that Pubcast episode is in the top 5 of all time for me, because Wayne was so mad, and it was, but it was well-placed love. It was, you were just like, it was grief. It was grief.
My Star Trek love is well known.
Yeah. Wayne, you were telling us that we just got to there's no Superman, there's just a brooding teen. Always great. The only time a brooding teen has ever been good in a superhero movie was Megasonic Teenage Warhead. Excellent stuff. But it doesn't play out in this one.
New. Now, look, I mean, she's not the worst, but like all modern day Superman films or super person films, because it's a female character, they are more of a MacGuffin than anything else.
Right.
There's no character depth here.
No character development. No
The only development
story.
she has, she gives the Kara Zor-El storyline. It was like, I was sent to protect Kal-El, but originally in the original Supergirl storyline was she was sent to protect Kal-El, but her rocket
Was off course.
and she ended up taking longer to get to
Yeah.
Earth, and he'd already grown up. In this,
So hang on, she has the Kara story, but it's not Kara.
it's not Kara. It is Kara Zor-El. No, is it Zora? Yeah, I think this is how lack of investment I had. I kept forgetting what her name was.
You would remember her name. You would.
Yeah. So
You
I
know,
think
yeah,
it was Kara Zor-El, right? So she had the Supergirl storyline. She was Supergirl to that point, but she arrived on Earth. Kal-El didn't. And it transpires that she was sent, like her story thinks, that she was sent to protect him because she was the older cousin.
Yeah.
She got to Earth, was kidnapped by Russians, and there was a touch of the Red Sun storyline.
Oh,
Where
okay.
Superman lands in Russia rather than America, and he gets raised by commies. So there's that storyline, but she's a prisoner. Rather than be raised by commies, she's a prisoner of the Russian oligarchy, whatever. And then she's kept in a floating nut. Like a massive testicle.
Scrotum, not walnut.
Full on. And they rescue her from that. And there's some nice sequence. Like, I will give it one thing. there are one or two sequences where some of the action you're kind of going, huh. But then everything else happens and you forget about that shit. But there are one or two sequences where you go, right, that was fine.
Where somebody tried something.
Somebody tried something.
Who directed this thing?
Again, I have my iPad.
Somebody who shouldn't get any award from the sounds of it.
Well, I mean, I think, I don't know, maybe it was their contract that they had to have it. The director was Andres Muschietti. I'm going to fucking butcher that.
Yeah, that's all right. We're Irish.
They are, oh my God. They have directed good fucking movies.
Oh no!
DC
So a
curse.
studio interference. No.
They directed It, the modern day It.
Oh, I liked the first one. The second one was alright. But that was mainly because of Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah,
And all the Skarsgårds are all beautiful.
Argentinian filmmaker. They actually have a cameo in the movie. Argentinian filmmaker. Received wide recognition for his Mama, which is a horror movie. Very, very good film, actually. And then directed the duology of Stephen King's modern day It with Bill Hader and the likes.
Andy Muschietti.
And
It
sounds Italian.
It
but
sounds Italian.
It's Spanish.
Argentinian.
He's Argentinian filmmaker. So, like, the filmography is Mama. He did the Mama short film, Mama, It, and in Chapter 2. Apparently, he's doing Brave and the Bold. Whether that's going to actually happen, I don't know.
Well, if it was based on the success of this movie.
Yeah. And he was involved in the Lock and Key TV series.
We like that.
Oh, I haven't watched that still.
Yeah, so he hasn't done a hell of a lot, but what he has done before The Flash was good. Like, it was good shit. So, yeah, so they kind of go off, and at this point, we still don't know who the main villain is in this film. They've completely redirected it.
And how far are you into it now?
You're nearly 2 hours into it. We're coming to a finale.
For fuck's sake.
Basically, they transplant the plot of Man of Steel and plop it into this film because Zod arrives looking for the Kryptonian, for the genetic code for Krypton. So it's the plot of Man of Steel at this point.
And that was such a banger. We got to bring that back.
Yeah. So they have Zod out in the desert. So it's like literally in the desert. Right?
Yeah.
And it's just a flat surface in the desert. The scenes from Man of Steel where originally Kal-El turns up and they have a face off and it's like,
that's why they did it, so they could just reuse the scenes.
There was those scenes from Man of Steel that was reused. The plot was reused, right? You see the Kryptonian army, and these, if you take into account, these are all Kryptonians. They're on Earth. They're all saturated with sunlight, the yellow sun. So they're all essentially an army of Supermen.
Yeah.
Right? Barry gets his powers back by Kara Zor-El flying him up into a thunderstorm.
Well, that was convenient.
It's like defibrillation.
So they attempt to recreate the accident. So
okay.
Bruce Wayne attempts to recreate the accident using the same chemicals, the lightning and stuff like that, and it doesn't work. So Kara comes along and flies him up into the sky, and he gets somehow her combination and hit. They don't explain it. He gets hit by lightning, gets his powers back. He's the Flash again, right? 2 Flash, 1 Supergirl, 1 Batman. They go off and face the army of Zod.
Yeah. So Batman's just a man.
Batman's just a man.
With gadgets.
Yeah, we get to see the Batwing do some really cool shit. The Batwing gets to be the Batwing, right?
Right.
So, there's one particular moment in this film that bugs the bejesus out of me.
Just one?
Just
one moment? This particular one more than the other.
Extrapolate from this what this is, okay?
Okay.
So, this is a universe that has the Michael Keaton Batman, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knew who Batman was in this. There's characters in this film that are like, oh yeah, Batman, but he's not around anymore. He's gone.
Okay.
Batman's gone. He doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? So, this is the Michael Keaton Batman universe. There's a bit at the end of the film where they turn up, and it's in that scene from Man of Steel. It's where the American army face off against the Zod Kryptonian army.
Yeah.
And you have the U.S. army, and they're about to start a fight with Zod's army. And the fire starts to ensue, and there's battering and all sorts of things. The Batwing turns up. Like, the flying symbol of Batman turns up, right? The American army start to fire at the fucking thing, and the dialogue is, they don't know us. They probably think we're with Zod. This is a universe with Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, and they're firing at the Batwing.
But if he's been off the scene for a couple of decades.
Yeah, maybe he's not in the group chat.
Because earlier on, the lead chick from Derry Girls is in this as a subsequent character.
Oh, okay.
And she remembers who Batman is. She knows who Batman is, right? And she's a druggie in this fucking movie. So she's fucked up in her brain. She has taken narcotics, and yet she fucking remembers who Batman is. But the fucking American army don't remember who Batman is, to the point where they start shooting it with tanks.
They're very young.
It was like, what the fuck? It's like, what are you doing? It's Batman.
Our Erin should have been able to put them straight.
Yeah, she should have been able to tell you shooting at me.
What does butcher a Derry accent? Sorry, Bobby.
In fairness to her, she does a very good American accent in this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she does. She's a great actress.
She's fantastic. And for the small scenes that she's in, it's kind of like,
yeah.
But it's just one of the things that just really got under my fucking skin. It was like, everyone knows
How
who
do
Batman
you
is.
not know? Yeah,
Why would they need to add that level of threat?
You know what it is? These are the cunts that need to see a new Batman film every 10 years and have the origin re-explained to them every fucking one. That's
They
what
need
these
the
cunts
pearls every time.
These are the fuckers that don't understand that Batman's parents got killed when they came out to see Zorro or whatever, like Triviata from
Deflate a mouse.
Deflate a mouse. Who knows? But it was the fucking Legend of Zorro. But like, these are the fuckers that don't understand that they got shot down an alleyway. You know, like these are the pricks that need the origin films every 10 years. Because it's like, oh, look,
They do not credit. They don't know who they're making these for, and they do not credit anyone with any intelligence. They think they're making date movies for people. I think so. I think they're making date movies with just the vibe of all of these are people showing up at the multiplex on Fridays and Saturdays and going to see the new film. So what they do is they piss off the dyed-in-the-wool fans because they dumb it down too much for them. Yeah. And then it's too stupid and and you can't make a multiverse movie for casuals. The fuck are they doing?
But I don't think this was a multiverse movie for casuals because...
No, you can't make a multiverse movie for casuals.
Sure.
Marvel are basically going, here's a movie, it's out, go see it, but if you haven't done your homework, and that's something that some people hate, but most of us will just fucking eat our porridge and go see it.
That's where they're at now.
Yeah, that's where they're at now, yeah.
That's where they're at now.
Because they're at exhaustion.
They've opened that Pandora's box.
DC haven't given us the goodwill. Like, the good things are so disparate. They have made good things, and they're so disparate. I loved Batman, but I've already said I like Mission Impossible too, so, let's move on. So, I fucking love Mission Impossible too. So, no, it's it's frightful.
You don't have Darren's taste.
Very silly. It's very silly. I don't know. I think they broke Darren. I think they've been tossing out such bullshit that they've nearly broken Darren. Darren has had moments of films he hasn't cared for. How dare you? How very dare you?
You know what I want to see? I want to see this version of Darren rewatch Doom. That's what I want to see.
Do you know what? I was only talking about Doom with Liam the other night because I was like, I love Doom. It's great crack. It's a shit movie though. Like, it's not a good movie. It's not even based. And I have a flirting relationship with the game. Like, I played it a little. I'm not a diehard fan. The soundtrack is great. Banging. But like that Doom movie, it's a bit of crack. The Rock isn't completely terrible.
He's not gone yet. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's a good movie.
That was early doors for the Doc. That was Rock.
The Doc?
For the Rock.
The Rock.
Put Doc in that film.
We all know now.
Carl Urban in that movie plays Doc.
We all know now that The Rock is not the class act that he thinks he is, and John Cena for life, yo.
Yeah.
I know. He's gotten too much control. And he
tries to be too controlling.
Yeah, but he has worked so hard to get where he is, and he's trying to maintain a certain standard, and it's kind of impossible. Like, he should probably relax a bit, but that won't happen. So that's unfortunate.
We get
but anyway,
to see him as the real life Mary now soon.
Wayne, I saw talk of something in this Flash movie that would actually make me leave if I hadn't left with the
up to this point,
with the dancing baby.
Made you want to leave?
Think you better leave.
There's am I right in saying that they have the whole wheat vegan option audacity?
Caucasity.
The
nerve, the gall, the gumption, the cheek, the nerve, the gall, the gumption. There's another one missing. Did they put George Reeve in that film.
They fucking did. And Chris.
And Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
And Slater.
Yep.
Helen Slater.
That's disgusting.
And
But Wayne, that's disgusting. That's
honest to
disrespect to the dead.
Yeah.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, right? For anyone that's listening to this or watching this, George Reeves is an actor who played Superman in a TV series, and funnily enough, played by Ben Affleck on Hollywoodland, which is a phenomenal
That's an
fucking
amazing movie. It's
Amazing
so
movie.
good.
So he played Superman in that, and he actually committed suicide while still, I'm trying to remember if he was still cast as Superman in the role, but he was
Very
severely
tragic.
He
depressed.
was trying to outlive it.
Tragic,
He was trying to do something
he couldn't
else.
get, He basically could. This is where the curse of Superman originated from.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get out from under the cape, but he couldn't, and he ended up committing suicide.
Just like little old ladies walking up to soap stars and hitting them with a bag because of something their character did.
Like Dirty Den situation.
Yeah.
The pop culture awareness was the level of pop culture literacy was so low that he was Superman when people saw him out.
Yeah.
And he was
didn't want
tortured by that. Yeah.
He couldn't embrace it. He wanted to be seen as a serious actor.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a moment in this film. Stuff ensues where
Jesus Christ.
Michael Keaton's Batman.
I thought someone on Twitter was lying.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's Batman and Kara Zor-El. No matter how many times you try to stop Zod, Zod always seems to win, right? So the two Barrys decide we're going to go back through time a couple of minutes and try and fix this over.
Two Barrys. It sounds like a dodgy podcast.
To me, to you, to me, to you.
Oh my god!
Sorry.
Oh my
No,
God.
you're not. No.
So they keep doing this, but the elder Barry realizes this is a stuck point in time. We have no control over this. This universe has to end. If this universe doesn't end, the rest of the multiverse is fucked. So this version of the universe has to play out and Zod has to win. But younger Barry is not having it. But every single time younger Barry goes back through time, he's getting injured and he's getting inflicted with Kryptonian metal.
Psychic damage.
Right? So he's starting to come back and he's got all these razor blades all over him.
Oh, okay.
Right? So
Made of Kryptonian?
Made of Kryptonian metal.
Okay.
It's all Kryptonian metal.
Oh, okay.
No, so it's
not
so
kryptonite.
it's the
Kryptonian
armor
metal.
that the Kryptonian guys wear. Now,
Okay. Right. I'm there.
which, honest to God, these Kryptonian dudes are getting knocked the shit out of them by two Flashes. No.
Yeah,
Can
that
fast
wouldn't happen.
people punch?
Fast people can
Fast
punch, and
people
the
can go
the
fast.
The Flash can do shit that's pretty fucking amazing.
The Flash can...
He probably run through you.
The Flash can beat Superman in a race, but he can't knock the shit out of him.
Like, there's a moment where he vibrates his hand through a Kryptonian's chest.
Makes sense. Maybe. No, not through Kryptonian, through mine, maybe.
Yeah, and that's where it's kind of again where the like actually kind of gets into the whole thing of like, well, just give it that pass because he's doing his thing, and you see it. And
Do
there's
that
a
gesture again, Wayne.
What?
Do that gesture again.
But that's what he does. He does this thing. He vibrates his hand really fast. He just stabs it in the chest.
Anyway,
So
Sorry, I need some alone time.
So this shit happens. Yeah, so the older Barry realizes this, but the younger Barry keeps flashing back through time on the cosmic treadmill while the older Barry is just standing still. And he starts
Cosmic
to-
Treadmill are playing here next week, actually.
with Ned's Atomic Dustbin.
Yeah. Great reference. We're really reeling all the kids in, I tell you.
So older Barry sees these things appear in the timeline and the universe starts to collide, and all of a sudden this version of future Barry materializes, and it turns out that the villain that pushed him through into the 18-year-old Barry's existence is
Dun, 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 dun.
18-year-old Barry from the future. She's gone. She's left.
Fuck's sake.
Right? So that's the reason why we hadn't seen that. But also, see, I understand what they were trying to do. I get it. I get what they were trying to do. The problem is, the CGI was so bad in that character when you first saw it. There was no way of going, huh? What? That's...
So it couldn't even get your peri-retinal area a little bit ready for that, right?
Because there are Flash characters that are imbued with the Speed Force that exist in the Speed Force. And one of them is an older version of Barry Allen who eventually becomes evil, right? because of stuff that happens to Iris West, his future wife or girlfriend or whatever. And for a very big Flash, anyone that's a big Flash fan or even knows the kind of the lore would go, oh, it's them, or maybe that's meant to be Thawne. I don't know. And that's kind of where people maybe who know the lore are kind of left guessing. But the fact that older Barry, when that happens to him earlier on in the film, he does not reference that moment at all throughout the entire film. At all. Doesn't reference it once.
Seems like it would be something you probably should.
It's something you think you would bring up.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it's all about finding Superman. It's all about finding Batman. It's all about fighting Zod. It's all about fixing that moment in time rather than trying to get back to where he came from.
Barry, are you running away from your problems?
Exactly. So,
I would can we put that on the record? I would.
For me, it's problems or yours?
If I was a speedster, nobody'd even be able to say hello to me.
So you'd be Barry Allen.
Yeah.
So essentially, we figure out at that point, right? So Barry is the villain all along. You know, and it's really weird. It's so.
It seems like he fucked up the multiverse in the film where he had already fucked up the multiverse.
Yeah. So it's an essential paradox loop of himself just being a dick, and that's the moment where we see this scene.
All right.
And I'm gonna cut the scene in here.
Jesus!
I'm gonna cut the scene in here now because it's a small snippet of the movie. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. This is some of the worst CGI you will see in modern cinema. It's 2023. I rewatch the Matrix trilogy, right? And you can say what you want about those films, but in Matrix Reloaded,
mean that film?
The Matrix trilogy, Matrix Reloaded, when Neo fights all the Agent Smiths in the hurdy-burdy. That's dated now, looking at the CGI. That's better CGI than what we got in the film in 2020.
Do you think
Is it better than the Crow CGI? Because that looks shit, the opening scene nowadays. It's ropey as fuck, but I still love it because it's the Crow.
Oh my God, I watched Men in Black last week and it stands up 100%. 100%. But I have to say to you, oh dear God. You were just saying, no.
But the Men in Black theme tune.
The CGI, and do you think, look, I get a bit tinfoil hat sometimes. Do you think they made it that shit to avoid some sort of problem with the estates or the families? Because that's a disgrace.
No, because the use of these characters is so blatant. Blatant and so in your face.
Do you think they contacted people and got the go ahead? Because I
reckon they had to.
I
reckon they had to, and I think it's a case of. So what happens is Barry looks up. Barry looks up and he starts to see the multiverse forming around him, and you see these globes of different colors floating, and they're zooming in, and again they all look like these shitty. Fucking circular things of just the one still image moving in a circular motion, right? And the very, very first one you see is in black and white, and it's George Reeves. Yeah. And all he's doing is standing there with his hands on his hips in the Superman pose, and he turns around and looks into his universe.
No, how dare you?
Right? Looks into his universe, and for some reason we see a version of Jay Garrick, the Silver Age Flash, right? Yeah. And here's the kicker. The Silver Age Flash is the guy with the kind of the World War I-esque helmet with the wings on the side. Yeah. This is why I brought up John Wesley Shipp earlier on.
Because he plays him in the
Jay
show.
Garrick in the CW show.
Yeah.
So when I saw Jay Garrick, I was like, oh, fuck yes, they got John Wesley Shipp. No. It just looks like a random dude. Really? Right? It's so confusing and so muddled and so murky looking. Because... people are watching it, they're attributing to, I don't know if you remember this.
They're literally naming the wrong person.
They're naming an actor who everyone thought was Jerry Garrick originally in The Flash. I think it's season 2 of The Flash, right? Or could it be season 1? Can't remember, but it's early doors Flash. And Jay Garrick gets introduced from an alternate universe. And it's a tall, muscular kind of individual. Can't remember the actor's name.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Fans online are attributing that version of the Flash to this actor. The creative team had to come out and say, no, it's not him.
It's not him, fuck's sake.
But they also said, we don't know who it is.
What?
It's not John Wesley Shipp.
Strike harder, everybody. Strike harder.
There's no, honest to God, I've put the clip in. You've seen it. They can't identify who the fucking actor's meant to be. It doesn't look like John Wesley Shipp, but it's in black and white. It's Jay Garrick, and he's running on the cosmic treadmill in George Reeves' universe, right? We then cut to another globe, and you see this silhouette come down from the sky with a cape, and you hear the John Williams music, a bar of the John Williams music kick in, and you see a CGI rendering of Christopher Reeves that is so bad. I swear to God, I was like, no. It made my stomach turn. Yeah. Helen Slater then turns up as Supergirl right next to him, and they just look at each other, right? Now, all of this is happening, and all of these multiverses are colliding together. So there's tears in each of their skies, and the multiverses are colliding together and being destroyed.
Meanwhile, there's tears in Wayne's eyes.
Honestly,
I was just thinking, Tears in the Skies is a great gospel name.
Yeah. They're playing here in September.
Yeah. So, and I'm looking at going, right, all they have is Christopher Reeves and Helen Slater standing on a rooftop together.
Yeah.
While their world is being obliterated. I'm sorry. And it's the same with George Reeves. It's the same with Adam West. Those characters would have done something about it.
Absolutely.
But they have to just standing there, doe-eyed, staring off into the distance, right? And this is where the longest sequence of this appears. And also the biggest... It's kind of like a big fuck you because of what they do. But it's also the hardest attempt at a nudge, wink, wink at pop culture. We see a silhouette charging towards a giant form and a cape fluttering. And then we see this massive spider climbing over this debris.
No.
And then a web shoots and catches a body and pushes it against the wall. Small spiders crawl up. Eye lasers come out and start to blow all the spiders away.
It's John Peters' spider.
And Nicolas Cage in his full Superman Reborn form, silver kind of shiny suit, long greasy hair, from the screen test of the costume. That wasn't going to be his final look. Yeah. But it's essentially Nicolas Cage trying on the Superman costume with the long flowy hair.
I can't see them being...
And he attacks
I suppose it's their property.
And he attacks the spider and kills the spider and then turns in his full CGI Nicolas Cage. There was a scene in I'm going to go so segue on this, but there was a scene in Army of Darkness where Ash Williams' face gets really stretched.
Yeah.
That's what Nicolas Cage
No.
Like,
I bet
Ashley J. Williams with an even bigger chin.
I wonder, did Kevin Smith piss himself when
Apparently,
he saw that?
There is a video online of Kevin Smith talking about that.
He loves
scene.
everything.
Because that was one of the key things. I remember back years ago when the first An Evening with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our Bible.
Which we had on VHS.
Yes, VHS.
Illegally. That was one of the key stories he talked about in that special.
That's our Sermon on the Mount. That's Nerd's Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
Prince playing basketball and fucking the giant spider. Barbara
birders
Streisand's hairdresser's spider.
John Peters.
Here's the thing. I've already said his name. Yeah. I'm now using the funnier description of him.
100%.
Is that okay?
100%.
Right. So we have like the problem. Kevin Smith, we love you. You know we love you. You know that you were the lifeblood of this podcast group when it started. But Jesus Christ, baby, you've got to get more discerning. He loves all this shit. And he just loves everything. And he loves what he loves. And he loves it indiscriminately. And
why has he talked about how much he loved The Flash online?
His reviews are unreliable.
I don't know if he's talked about how much he loved this movie. I think
but I feel like if we heard him talk about it, he would talk about the 2 seconds he liked and nothing else.
He's trying to find the light.
Wanting to shit on things is
but
okay.
He did say that somewhere in Hollywood, John Peters is high-fiving himself. He did say that because but here's the kicker. This is what pissed me off. This is what made me so angry.
Another thing that pissed him off.
Another thing that pissed me off was they dedicated more screen time to an actual moving version of Nicolas Cage's Superman attacking a spider. A Superman that never existed.
Didn't exist, yeah.
Never got a full screen, never got a cinema movie, never got anything. Was just a story on a Kevin Smith
and we know him
kind of college trip that he went around colleges and did a talk.
Yeah, and then that movie we kickstarted.
Yeah, so it's a case of this Superman never existed, but he gets more action and screen time than Christopher Reeve's Superman. Yes, George Reeves' Superman should not have been there, but they also did not include Grant Gustin. They did not include John Wesley Shipp. The two Flashes that generations have actually recognized as the Flash more than Ezra Miller.
Well, do you think they were afraid of that? Do you think they were afraid of bringing in a likable Flash into this movie?
I reckon so, yeah.
Maybe.
I think you're correct.
Maybe they were intimidated by him because they knew they should have had him.
But they would have,
all along.
You know what it would have been? It would have been, if they had done it correctly, and if they'd done this moment correctly, it would have been the exact same scene as when we did the Doctor Who 50th anniversary, when we got all the doctors together. And we got Capaldi's doctor's eyebrows on the screen. And the cinema, you were there.
Yeah,
the cinema went fucking nuts. If they had put Grant Gustin on there and John Wesley Shipp in there as well, the exact same reaction for the people that actually went to see this movie in the cinema, it would have been that reaction.
One word, earned.
Yeah.
You have to earn this. You can't just toss it over there. Be like, it's just like a Peter Kay comedy show. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garlic bread. So you're just just saying things. You're just listing things. And it's like you can't just list things.
Yeah. So it's.
Do you remember when Iron Man said underoos? Oh my God! I remember when he said underoos. Underoos. Oh my God! That's earned. It's earned.
Yeah. So that's the main problem with this. None of the stuff that's in this movie is earned.
I can't believe how much money we made, by the way, to talk nicely about Marvel. That's a nice learner for us, isn't it? I paid off my house. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, if only podcasts got residuals, we'd have about the price of 1 point at this stage. After
DC boys like to have theories about why people like the Marvel movies and don't like these. By the way, why is the DC fandom, the DC
why is it
CU so aggressive? Why is it so mean-spirited? Is it because
on Twitter?
Well, yeah.
I'm never on Twitter.
It's unusable now. But no, they're very hard to talk to about anything. They're very defensive, and I feel like they're given this absolute swill to defend. The Snyder Bros especially are really difficult to deal with in any conversation. They've no they can't step back from it. And
I think a lot of it, because I'm a huge DC comic book fan.
I think it's abuse. I think the shit they've been given to be fans of is so bad that they're in an abusive relationship.
So it's like when a wife gets beaten by her husband, and she was like, no, but he loves me really.
He does love me really. Yeah. And I have to stick around to watch him get better and treat me better. And that's what it feels like in this fandom. I don't know. You know yourself. You don't have to be in fandoms to know when they're trouble. The Swifties are trouble. Like there's just
they'll
some
cut you for a
fandoms
concert ticket.
They'll cut you for saying a thing. But you're like, but the Snyderverse fans and the DC. I have a problem with how many C's are in DC Cinematic Universe. The DCCU.
I'm gonna melt your brain and tell you that DC stands for Detective Comics.
I know.
So Detective Comics.
I know, they're fucking shocking.
Yeah.
I'm saying cinematic though. My second C is cinematic and not comics.
So it's
again.
DCCC.
Oh, it is.
DC,
Isn't it?
Detective Comics Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. But anyway,
you can just say
DCEU. Yeah.
DCC.
Anyway, the fans are getting treated like dog shit, and they're turning around and treating other people as dog shit. Anybody says anything positive about Marvel is paid or under some sort of hold that they don't understand. I'm like, you don't understand. I watch every single. I watch so many of the Marvel movies, but I would rather watch DC movies. I've preferred those characters for my entire life.
Same.
But they're not treating them properly. But the funny thing is, Jill, you were talking about Titans. Titans is good.
Titans is
People
actually...
like Gotham.
Yeah,
they're doing good things and nobody's really watching those.
I didn't watch the Gotham show. There were elements of it that I just couldn't get into.
Gotham was shite.
And
people like it.
I fully appreciate the last season of Titans, season 4 has been out a while now. I've just been behind. And in the last week before Liam moved in, I binged season 3 of Titans. And it's dark, it's gritty. And you know what? Vincent Kartheiser, Connor from fucking Angel, and also dickhead from Mad
Pete
Men.
from Mad Men.
Plays the Scarecrow.
Holy shit,
And
that's perfect.
so he's already locked up in Arkham, right?
Okay.
And Nightwing has been off in LA doing his thing, and he comes back to Gotham.
How's
And
his
he-
arse? How's Nightwing's arse?
Stephen Mooney must have drawn the
Yeah,
fucking
must have drawn
plans
the
for that
plan,
suit. Anyway, love you, Steve.
Storyboard artist.
Anyway, so he comes back to Gotham and he finds out. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched it yet. But
Yeah.
he finds out through story exposition that Batman had consulted Crane on certain crimes
thought
and
that word-
murders in Gotham. So they were
I thought that
using him
word
as a-
was
as a-
going to be consensual. I was like, Batman had consensual. I'm like, what?
But Vincent Kartheiser is actually really fucking good. He was annoying as Connor in Angel, but that's like 20
That was
years
the
ago.
He was a child.
That was the guy, and he was a child. He was a
Teenager.
child.
Teenager.
I thought he was phenomenal in Mad Men. I
So
love him as an actor. I think
amazing.
he's great. He's really, really good in this. The cast are brilliant. Like the guy who plays Beast Boy is great.
Yeah.
Like this season 3, big spoiler, season 3 opens with the murder of Jason Todd on behalf of the Joker and explores the Red Hood storyline. So that's all you need going in, lads.
Yeah.
Is
Is it still? Are
Which
they still
means they're
making
taking
it?
stuff from the comics.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
doing stuff that they
And
should be doing.
it's dark and gritty and people are dropping F-bombs all over the place, and Ian Glenn is Batman.
I'll take him to Bear Island.
So,
Anyway, back to the Flash.
More mount, you mean?
a kind of encapsulation of this episode.
I have other things to talk about. I have a list of 2 items.
Yeah, we've other things to talk about, and I can't. We're kind of segueing off, but
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah,
I
it's,
love
fine.
that.
It's what we do.
I
But-
love that for
But
us.
so Barry fixes everything. The multiverse goes back to normal.
Ta-da!
Yay!
Oh my God.
But is there a butt? Is there a butt coming?
Oh, there's a but. There's a but, and not in the
Like-
Henry
like-
Cavill or
Nightwing.
Jason, or Nightwing sense. So he gets back to degular version of his universe, and he thinks everything's great, and he manages to do something with the timeline that doesn't break the world, and his dad gets exonerated for the murder of his mother.
Okay.
So the thing he wanted before everything.
You know how he does
happens.
it? He moves a can of tomatoes. That's how he does it.
Oh, if you don't eat
I kinda
tomatoes,
like that.
He moves a can of
Yeah.
tomatoes, and that's what fixes the universe.
Okay.
Right?
I kind of like that.
So
Okay.
when I say it fixes the universe, it kind of So what happens is he gets back to regular time. He's in the court case and he's leaving the court and he gets a call from Bruce Wayne. And he said, Bruce, you're here. Oh man, I've got so much to tell you. Yada yada yada. And Bruce, all he hears is gravel. He's going pulling up to the courthouse now. And you see the car that Ben Affleck was driving previously in the film.
Is it a different Batman?
It pulls up to the courthouse and reporters swarm the car. And from the center of this cadre of reporters springs George Clooney.
Gorgeous
This
George.
is a good movie. I will be watching this.
And he comes out with his bobblehead.
If you get George Clooney back off his hollybobs to do something, you've already elevated it 1 level. So it's 1 out of 10. Are we giving it
That's
1 out of 10?
hilarious.
This is the only thing that I like about this movie. Okay? I really like the
That
fact.
took balls.
So
Yeah.
George Clooney buried a franchise as Batman the first time round, and he has done
that wasn't on him.
a second time.
Right, that wasn't on him.
Absolutely not on him either time.
Not on
But,
him.
Like I like
Neither
that he's
was I.
there for the final shovel of
But that's-
fucking
He is
gravel over
basically
the grave.
the vulture
He is.
circling.
He is the harbinger of death of DC universes. He comes in and he was just like, and he's like, Bruce, and he's like, yeah, what?"
Bruce, you all right, babe?
You're right, babe.
And he goes, "You're Batman?" And he kind of goes, "Barry, what are you doing?" And he's like, people are around him, and he's like, "You're Batman." And,
Oh, shit!
And he's like, no, I'm here as Bruce.
and then it cuts, and it's the end of the film. And then the mid-credit sequence is Barry coming out of a bar with Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry, and he's explaining,
Mommy!
and he's explaining the Aquaman, who was hammer drunk
And doesn't care anyway.
and literally does not care because he's now Lobo in the new DC universe.
Okay.
So this
I'm very
resets-
excited about that.
Oh,
So
James
this-
Gunn, you've got so much work to do.
This
please
resets.
help, James.
This
Please
resets the Snyderverse-esque cinematic universe, and now sets up James Gunn's.
What an
DC.
absolute...
I'm very
what an
excited about my main man becoming the
absolute
main man.
waste of electricity and raw materials.
Yeah.
Every single one of those films was. Every single one of them. Man of Steel was a 5.5 out of 10. And it got worse from there.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
I will say, I haven't seen the Shazam films, and apparently they are okay.
Oh,
The
you're
first one
reasonable.
is
First
great.
one's great. Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved the first one.
And the second one is shit because The Rock.
But Helen Mirren's in the second one.
Yeah, but The Rock
Oh no.
ruined it. Because he wouldn't let Black Adam be in it.
Yeah.
The Rock ruined it. That could have actually been something. And then, post-film getting ruined, Zachary Levi ruined himself. Fuck him now.
What did he do
And I
now?
like that first one. Oh, he's an absolute piece of shit. So we'll talk about that later. He is an anti-vax internet toilet.
Oh, I can't believe I got in a photo with
Also,
him.
he lied about his name so he could appear Jewish. Levi's second name. He's got some Caucasity surname.
Smith.
Is it actually Smith?
Chuck,
Might
Chuck
as well
did
be.
that to me.
Yeah.
Chuck did that to me. That first movie was good.
Bum-ba-dum.
And yeah, the Patty Jenkins' first Wonder Woman doesn't get counted in the DCEU, but the second one does.
I went into the Aquaman film with zero expectations and like zero toilet expectations.
And it was
I
great.
was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
by
it's a
how
romp.
actually-
It's a
and
romp, but
looks-
it's not.
It looks well.
Yeah.
Compared to this fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking, it is.
And it's got Amber Heard in it. So it's
I
good news for everybody.
I think even like obviously from listening to your review, not going to spend the money in the cinema. I think it's too late, is it? At the cinema now.
No, it's
But-
in streaming services.
And we have multiple streaming services. I'm not going to waste the 2.5+ hours of my life that I could be watching something else.
100%.
All that money they could have made. They could have made
and-
3
And you know what? I feel
12 Flula Borg movies in that time. And with that money.
Flula Borg should have been Barry Allen.
oh my God, can you imagine? Have to peel her off the couch.
No, we don't know. We have an
I am going to
artist.
run very fast through this movie. Watch me run.
I'm going to wear my bum bags the entire
the
time.
entire time.
Oh, let's pitch Jim. See will he do it?
There is in fairness, though, if you think about the whole way the multiverse works, there is a multiverse where Flula Borg is the Flash.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
That's how
there is.
multiverses work.
That-
Tell Irene there's a Pitch Perfect spin-off TV show. Bumper goes to Berlin and Flula Borg is there.
Really?
Yeah.
There is a Pitch Perfect spin-off series.
Yeah, following Bumper from the not the Acafellas. What the fuck? What was the
I
alternative?
haven't seen any of the pitch perfect.
Don't know.
Oh, bangers.
Your man from
Bangers.
Evan. Your man from Evan.
The wee fella. Yeah, no, God, dear God, no, not Ben Platt.
Hi, I'm 12.
Adam Devine from Righteous Gemstones.
Adam.
Oh, I love
Tiny
him.
Wheeler. No thanks, hard pass.
Okay.
He's got
Sorry.
very Jack Black energy. I love him.
Why?
He
Adam-
does.
Bumper is her
When you said
boyfriend.
Adam Devine, for some reason, I went to the lead singer.
Adam
You
Levine.
went Adam.
You were Adam Levine,
or
yeah.
Adam Lambert.
Lead
Queen.
singer of Maroon 5.
Oh,
Adam Levine, yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
dickhead.
Adam
He
Devine's
is.
body is so crazy though. He's a short king. Anyway, but he's a great singer, and
He
we
is.
love that of him. He
he
does that. Please don't stop the music. Pretty good. Anyway, so Bumper gets a spin-off where he goes to Berlin, and Flula Borg is in Berlin. Who is from?
This sounds like a buddy cop movie.
Fuck. Was the Das Sound Machine? Yeah, Das Sound Machine. Yeah.
Dude, the lead singer of that, the female, it looks like a friend of mine, Deezer from Iceland. The fucking spit of her.
Oh my God, give her my number.
Spit of her. She's very good.
Also, she's in Borgen. She's in Borgen, being really serious journalist while there's people dying. Meanwhile, all I can hear is going, "You are like a troll. You are like a tiny creature." Yes, they're playing Germans, but she's Swedish, and Flula Borg is not German. Yeah,
Flula
I'll
Borg.
get on the train.
Yeah, you are like a tiny. You are like
had
a.
two topics you want
Yes.
to talk about.
Well,
Let's flush the bad taste out of our mouth that was the Flash.
Can I say one thing? We have a brain disease. If anyone watches our Let's Plays, we have a brain disease where we hear a phrase and sing a song.
Yeah.
So for the last, however long we've been going, I've been going to the tune of Gary, Indiana. Younger Barry Allen, younger Barry Allen, or older Barry Allen, older Barry Allen. What? Yeah. So apologies.
Amazing.
Apologies.
That works.
You were you briefly mentioned Star Trek. You.
Very great.
I've never been on the show. have you seen Tom Hiddleston's impression?
Yeah.
Oh, he's adorable.
Welcome back. You.
You mentioned Star Trek earlier. Are you up to date on Strange New Worlds?
I what?
Are you? First of all, they're all a beautiful bunch of star traveling so-and-sos.
All a bunch of rides.
They're all a bunch of
Everyone's
rides.
very
I want them
attractive.
all.
I love
you know
that.
the way you know that meme of my sexual identity or gender
the
preference
mummy, the
is
cast
the
of
mummy,
the
the
mummy.
cast of mummy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be the cast of Stranger Worlds.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna, while you're talking about that, I'm gonna Google the cast of Stranger Worlds.
They're all beautiful.
Your phone's about to turn into a boner, by the way.
Boing.
Yeah.
This week's episode. This week's episode saw the return of Mia Kirshner, who I love because The Crow.
Dear Lord, that woman is aged like fine wine.
That'd be all the Botox in her forehead.
Botox? Really?
Her forehead doesn't move
I
when
wasn't
she.
looking at her forehead.
I bet. She's a awesome rack.
This is astronaut Mike Dexter, by the way.
Yeah. Also, I bet you Irene would have noticed.
Probably. She's not watching Star Trek, though.
Anyway, Strange New Worlds. I don't know what it was. I giggled the most this season watching this week's episode where Spock became human and had to try and still act like a Vulcan.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was Vulcan hilarious.
It was. Honest to God,
That show.
Ethan Peck has just morphed into that role perfectly. After the really shit time they gave him on Discovery where he played vegetable Spock.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he did fuck
They
off,
didn't utilize him. No.
At all. As soon as Strange New Worlds kicked in from season 1 right to now, oh my God.
You weren't kidding here.
I know, right?
Right.
It was beautifully done. All the bridge crew were involved at some point, which we've all grown to know and love over the last 2 seasons. And it was just a fun episode. And I love a fun episode of any series of Star Trek. Like, there is obviously the main arcs going on in the background, but the odd one you get this is a bit like there's the we have to find a cure for Spock so that we can turn him back into a Vulcan. Spoilers. But also like even
it's a prequel. We have to turn him back into Spock. Does that actually happen?
But even the little things like the little things like
Monsters University,
like the bridge girls. So there's like number one, her what's her face who flies the ship. And there's 3 or 4 of them sitting.
Chapel.
Chapel wasn't sitting there. So there was number one. There was
Nooney and Singh.
Nooney, yes. Cortez and Uhura were sitting around telling anecdotes and stories and having drinks in the bar and having the crack. And Spock is not getting it. He's doing that.
But it's Spock hanging out with the girls.
Yeah, it's him hanging out. So one, him hanging out with the girls, and 2, him being Vulcan and not getting it. And then later on in the episode, there is the same meetup that they obviously have regularly, and he's human. And his reaction, because he's like a teenager experiencing heightened emotions, he like loses the plot, laughing his head off to a point where he's like banging the table, and the girls are like,
what a treat for the actor.
Ethan Peck rocked. Like, he has been phenomenal as Spock. He has really molded into the role, and there's all
To be
this.
able to do those two things in one shot, it's nice to be able to play like
and like
that.
there was a lot of, and I did feel like when I watched them in Discovery, I was like, they're not even giving him anything to do, and it's kind of to his own detriment because he's not getting to expand into the role. It could be fucking anyone. Like it could be a piece of wood as Spock. That's because that's what he was in Discovery.
Right.
But as soon as Strange New Worlds started last season, we really got to see him be the character.
Yeah.
And there are moments where you go, well, that's just fucking Leonard Nimoy right there.
Like, when he does the little eyebrow raise and the head tilt.
Unreal. And it's not that he's trying to emulate Nimoy. He's not trying to be Nimoy.
No, not at all.
But it's like when you watch Walk the Line when Joaquin Phoenix was trying to be Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
There are moments in that film where you kind of go, oh, that's a bit weird. Because it just looks like Johnny Cash.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though Joaquin Phoenix doesn't look anything like Johnny Cash.
He just nails the mannerisms so well,
Yeah.
and it catches you off guard.
It does.
And,
It's
and
wacky.
himself does the same in Strange New Worlds. I loved Captain Pike doing his best to entertain the Vulcan in-laws and make things from scratch and like teaching Spock about cooking, and like at the start of the episode, because he takes emotion suppressants, he has no sense of smell. So when he gets turned human, he's like eating all the bacon.
So
he's
Vulcans,
like, it's salty and sweet and hot, and it's like, I'm making up for lost time.
I saw that episode of Futurama already. Where Bender turns human.
The Vulcan. So the lore of Star Trek is Vulcans have a really heightened sense of smell, and to them, humans stink.
Right.
Humans
so he
fucking stink. He uses his ability to pull it down.
Oh, okay.
And when he becomes human, everything just gets really heightened, and it's just like, oh fuck, this is all amazing.
Yum.
But no, there's some amazing character moments. At the Pring, his fiance comes back, who we only saw once in the original series, during a mock time, which is when Spock is kind of starts to have Ponfar and he has to go back home. And,
he went to mock.
And it's exactly. Mock. So there's that whole famous sequence of like where he has to fight Kirk, and then Kirk fakes his death and stuff like that, and then we get to see this is the one scene that I use when people piss and moan about the fact that
iconic.
Ethan Peck is too emotional for Spock. There's all these fans that are going, but he's like showing all these emotions, and like Spock wouldn't do that. If you watch the original series episode of Mock Time. Not a mock time. A mock time is when they get all weird and shit. Hang on. Sorry. The episode titles always elude me. But there's an episode where Spock has to go back to Vulcan and fight. Am I getting the right one here? No, I am right. It's mock time. Yep. He has outbursts of emotion throughout the entire episode, and the only way to do it is to go back to Vulcan but then he denounces the Pring as his fiance, and the only way he can do it is to fight to the death and fight Kirk, and he thinks he kills Kirk. So at the end of the episode, after Kirk has faked his death, you see Spock emote that he sees his friend still alive.
Right.
And it's full on like, Jim! And he's happy, and then he realizes what he's done and he pulls himself back.
Right.
And people that are pissing and moaning about Ethan Peck's performance.
He's only half Vulcan, right?
What?
That's the other thing. He's only half Vulcan.
He's only half Vulcan. He's human. He's half human.
And sorry, I'll let you finish your point. No, all I was going to say, the fact that like, it's the norm to see any version of Spock talk about suppressing his human side and being accepted by the Vulcans and this, that, and the other. And it's lovely and I had kind of forgotten that Mia Kirshner played Amanda in Discovery. So it was lovely to have her back, and also for Spock to learn from her as opposed to trying to fit into the Vulcan box, and then come to a realization at the end to be like, I'm both, like I'm human and I'm Vulcan, and I have favored my Vulcan side for so long because I thought that was going to get me accepted by the people around me, but now I see you, ma'am, essentially, and how hard you've struggled to fit in on Vulcan as a human, and I'm he came away from it thinking he's going to make a concerted effort to actually be a bit more human, because why deny it if it's part of your
It's
DNA,
great, like
literally part of your DNA.
being able to, like, it would be so easy to play Spock one note.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to see it done one note, just go to any LARP where people have been issued with a character and the character's maybe a little bit either underwritten or they don't do a lot with it because they don't know what to do because they're not professional actors. And they're told their character is stoic. And just watch what they do for 2.5 hours. And they're just like, like, like it's hard. It is hard. And these, doing those nuances and doing, it's great that he gets the Bender turns human episode.
Well, I mean, the thing about Spock...
Come on, everybody, come and do that gunga.
Spock is the... Like, everyone goes on about Kirk. But I think when it comes to Trek, Spock is the eternal character that everyone knows.
It's it, yeah.
He is the character. So it's wild. So taking that on your shoulders as an actor, Ethan Peck must have really felt the mantle being quite heavy.
Yeah, you don't want to put
considering
Shatner up there.
His Spock now become, technically, in the timeline, his Spock comes before everyone else's.
Yeah.
So he gets to play with a Spock that's not developed.
Like,
right.
I wasn't mad at Zachary Quinto's Spock.
No.
Shite.
I wasn't mad at it, but also...
It fitted the movie he was in,
I may have
maybe?
some bias because Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
And also, I kind of
fitted the movie he was in. It was kind of
Matched the
they
vibe.
were kind of dumb, those movies, and it was fine. I enjoyed them.
It was
and I'm a dumb
fine.
shit. I'm too stupid for Star Trek.
I will say Beyond is the best of the three.
Star Trek Beyond.
For me as a Trekkie, Star Trek Beyond is the best because
those were designed
that's the way
for.
it runs as an episode. Like they make reference to so much of Trek in it that if you're a Trekkie, you kind of go, I can see exactly what they're trying to do.
I feel like the other ones were Abrams was doing them while he was also cycling a bike or eating his Weetabix.
Doing other shit.
Like, he was,
Well, I think
he was busy.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the exact quote. I could be way off base with this. But I think he did an interview with Jon Stewart where he said that he got Star Trek. And he did Star Trek, but he was always more of a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, of course.
Or else the other way around. He got Star Wars, but he was always more of a Star Trek fan.
He got Trek first and then Wars.
Yeah, I can't remember which one he said that about, but that conversation happened. But I think his version of Trek... I actually think his version of Trek informed Strange New Worlds to a degree. As far as
it informed people how to like dial it back on the lens flare.
Exactly. But there is still lens flare.
Oh my God, the lens flare.
But they're like obnoxious in the movies.
But the Strange New Worlds production design is top fucking tier.
Gorgeous.
Each episode
gorgeous.
has looks like a movie.
They put the money in it.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
It's lovely.
And they don't scrimp on it.
But it's gorgeous, but it's still like it doesn't. The one thing that bothered me about Enterprise was that it looked far superior technology-wise than the original series, even though it was supposed to come later.
Special effects wise.
Special effects wise.
Sure.
And the ship itself and the build of the ship and the technology in the ship to me always looked more sophisticated than.
This is the NX-1, NX-01. It's not Bacula. Archer ship.
Yeah, Archer ship.
I'm actually rewatching Enterprise not
I
right
haven't
now.
gone
Not
back
like
to
in my
no,
head.
I haven't.
But yeah.
I haven't got back to it since. But the point I was going to make is that even though Strange New Worlds is slick and obviously the money's gone into it and it's gorgeous, it doesn't feel as divorced from the original series as Enterprise did.
Sure.
Yeah.
So a little bit closer. Yes, obviously it's going to look better because we do shit better now.
I think Star Wars did a good job of not tidying things up too much, apart from George Lucas, he tidied things up too much. But I feel like they've managed to make
this is a whole different conversation, but there's a reason why the prequel trilogy looks the way it does. It's because it's pre the dirt.
Yes.
So
But
everything gets dirty during Rebellion.
Yes.
But they keep it clean
Absolutely.
during the
Pre-Rebellion, And that makes sense. Like, you cannot be cleaning things during a war.
It's why everything was chrome.
Yeah.
And it also spoke to his drag, is kind of like his hot rod fetish as well.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, can I get I'm going to need an award for not saying now this is pod racing as we launched into the pod race. So in Disney, We were in Star Tours. I ended up in a pod race and didn't say now this is pod racing. And I'm still waiting. This is the second time I told you guys, and I have not received any prizes. So I just want to leave it out there.
Award.
Oh my
Award.
God. Thank you.
Award.
Photo. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's great. I'd like to thank the Academy. So yeah.
The other thing I was going to talk about, which I don't think either of you have watched yet. Everybody who knows me, who has listened to the podcast, knows I'm a Witcher whore.
Look at her.
Despite the fact that I have read half of one of the books and not played the video game. But we all know that I have said before, Henry Cavill grinds up good. Geralt.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's Geralt of Rivia that does it for me. It's not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
Henry
me too.
Cavill.
Me too. Geralt of Rivia never played fucking rugby.
He was
He
out
would be
killing
seen dead. He
monsters.
was out killing monsters.
I've watched the first. I saved it because I'm a good girlfriend and I didn't watch it without him.
Oh,
even
you
though
didn't commit. You didn't
Here,
commit.
if I had
Pop
no
culture,
willpower, I would have watched
adultery.
it twice by
Yeah,
now.
yeah, okay.
So we've watched the first 2 episodes of
three.
of season 3.
Yeah.
Of which there are currently 5, and we're due to get another 3 at the end of this month.
Oh, okay.
They're milking that shit.
Absolutely.
Can't
And
be
it's
dropping all at once
weird.
anymore
I
if you
don't
got
know.
something.
I don't know whether it's because I'm now watching it on a better telly, or there's something has
The money
happened
has
with the
fallen
production.
off.
But
Yeah.
it's watching it. It's almost, you know, the way when you're watching a movie or a show, the way it's shot, the way it's lit. Yes, it's real, but you know it's a movie or a show. Whereas this,
You need to
handheld
turn the
shooting
motion.
feel-
You need to turn the, what's it called? You need to turn that off.
Yeah, you need to turn that off.
You need to turn that off.
Also,
That. You need to turn that off. No, in The Witcher, keep that. Keep that. Oh, by the way, Dahi, your username of Yennefer of Vengabus, you're fucking killing me. You're killing me. I laugh every time, and you tweet nonstop, so I laugh every time.
This
Yennefer
Dahi
of
does random
Vengabus.
DMs with me.
Yeah.
amazing.
His
Random
car,
DMs tomorrow night on Twitch.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice. Is that now really tomorrow night or tomorrow night when this goes out?
Nah, it'll probably be like 3 days ago on Twitch.
Okay. Anyway,
Every Thursday
season-
on Twitch. No, tomorrow's probably the last one actually.
season 3 of The
And
Witcher.
I'm DM. Anyway, go ahead.
You're the DM tomorrow night.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Witcher.
put that in my calendar.
Witcher. A lot of people are very, very emotional about this series of The Witcher because it's Henry Cavill's last outing.
Last one, yeah.
We have talked about this before on this podcast. At length about how there's the book lore, which the computer game is obviously based on, and how much they have changed in
Yeah.
the
And
show.
they're straying
compared to the
from
book.
God's
And
light.
The game lore is different as well.
Yeah, no, and I got the impression that it was a bit more respectful of the source material than the show is, and we all know that one of the reasons Henry is leaving is because he is not happy with the direction the show has taken, and I think you said it to me. Oh, they've been taking those liberties since season 1. It hasn't been as obvious and as blatant, but they have changed stuff, and it's just gotten worse since then in terms of what they've shown us on the screen versus what's already available in both the books and the video game. So it's kind of
Since the
watching this current season. It's like, oh, it's sad. Henry's not going to be in the next one, and I'm kind of watching it going, is he like phoning it in at any point? Not that I'm kind of watching
Now, if
for
you're
a moment when
sensing
he's
that,
going
then he
to.
is, because he hasn't been up till now.
But there have been some. There was one where episode 2 ended on. I had a serious moment of, really? That's where you're going with this? Like, it looks pretty and all that, and Siri.
How much Yennefer
Siri has fucking aged like 5 years in the space of 2 seasons.
Yeah, so Siri in the main story, when it comes to the wild
She's
Hunt,
kind of supernatural at least.
She is
So
older.
Oh yeah, and she's elder blood, and all that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to persevere. I'm going to keep watching it. I am enjoying the gothification of Jaskier. I saw
this is their
me.
agenda, folks. This is their agenda. They want to take it all out of the sunlight.
Turn off the sun. We don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching Yaskier. I saw a meme on Facebook the other day and I was like, that's hilarious. I don't know who the fourth person in the supposed Series 4 version of Yaskier is, but I'm going to take that meme and put my version in because slowly over the last 3 seasons, he's turning into Tim Minchin.
He is.
The hair is getting longer and a similar shape. And he's getting more and more eyeliner.
He's got the
and
heart-shaped
mopier.
face, yeah.
Mopier looking as well. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love Tim Minchin. I'm all for this.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was hilarious that he's gradually turning into him. But I'm going to keep watching it.
Toss a coin to your witcher.
Even just having watched the first 2 episodes, it feels a lot slower. I know we like these slow burn shows, but this is like
they were very slow. Yeah, it was very slow
up, like.
last season as well. Like, but I was really getting through because I just want to see Geralt and Yennefer fighting. That's all, and then not fighting anymore.
Making up.
That's basically me and Ciri proving herself. So like it'll be interesting to watch it. But the bear is back today, so
the bear can't wait.
Does that now become the universal symbol?
Oh my god! Oh my god, Carmi, I missed you so much. I've been checking.
Madison so much
I've
in that
been
show.
checking
Watch all his cooking shows.
Yeah, no, I can't have him as a cook in my brain.
He was a cook before he was in the bear. That's how it is in my brain.
Child, I am in that universe. They are not actors. They are those. This is Carmi. This is not Jeremy Allen White. This is.
You want me to blow your
Carmi,
mind?
And he's come here. So your friend, the chef, is not a chef in this. He's a handyman. He fixes shit.
I know.
So, yes. So don't.
He's not a chef.
Don't be
yet.
chefing at me with him. I have to keep this pure just for now because as someone, I mean, I don't want to flex, but as someone who comes from a family where we just yell at each other nonstop, and I left that situation and moved in with people who had manners, and I realized that I was ill-equipped for the world, and thankfully Wayne and Matt took me in like a wolf cub, and
you put manners on her there, Wayne. I was gonna say, really? You were the example.
They did the right amount.
It was all Matt.
The right
It was all
amount
Maddie.
of acceptance, and also, but maybe not. You know, we love you. But maybe not that. And it's just
let her go on
a
the
few
leash a
years
little
of
bit,
that.
then rein her back in.
So Carmi's family's dynamic is a bit familiar to me, but I have been just doing this on the Disney Plus app for fucking months because it's been showing in the US. How dare you?
Pricks.
So I think in this day and age, given the current circumstances with streaming services in America and how they're paying people or lack thereof.
When I found out they weren't paying people.
Pirate that shit.
Well, not right now. They might get a better deal.
I saw an interesting statement on Twitter the other day, which inevitably got reshared as a little meme on Facebook, because I don't go onto Twitter because I've never seen a den of more vile. That quote.
Yeah.
Well, they used to have journalists. They used to have journalists and
Scum and
comedians.
villainy.
And now it's just
but
the
they made the
Snyderverse.
point, they were talking about a particular movie, which I haven't seen. The only reason it clicked with me is it said Kid Cudi is in it, and Kid Cudi is a musician that Liam likes. And they were talking about Craters. Yeah, Craters has been removed from Disney, effective immediately. And the person was making the point that first of all, the reason they were given was cost cutting. In effort to cut costs, they were removing this from the streaming service. The person who reshared this said, "We're entering an age where there are no more cult classics. The likes of Blade Runner and Heathers and countless other movies that did shit on release in the box office, or they went onto VHS, and since then fucking DVD and streamers have found another life, have found audiences, people 100%. Who love them, and they have become, as we know, cult classics. If these movies are being removed from streaming services, they're not being afforded that opportunity, because if they're only being released to a streamer, they're not going to come out on DVD. Why would you bother spending the money putting them on a physical medium like that?
Yeah.
And then the other point that I was thinking of, they were like, oh, it's cost cutting. It's like, so we don't have to pay those cunts residuals.
Yeah.
Because anybody who worked in that movie, the streaming service would have to pay them for the duration that they continue to stream that movie.
Sorry,
and it's
but
like, hang on a minute, those people, particularly and that movie, not a big movie, but we all know that generally the stars of the movies get the stars and the producers get the big bucks.
Yeah.
The people who actually do the making of the movie,
they need to be working steadily. They need to be working nonstop.
And you know,
and like the I'm sorry, but quite apart from the crew, the amazing crews on these things, which nothing would happen without.
Absolutely.
Like, what would it be if it was just the actors standing in an empty room? But it'd be this. No, but all right, the crew, whatever, amazing. They need jobs. They need to be working. Everything needs to be going on. Acting is a very undignified job.
Yeah, you bury yourself.
You don't even have to be just standing there reacting to nothing. That's a different level of undignified. Everything is just, people are just telling you what you look like. People are telling you what you're doing is no good nonstop. And that's an essential part of it.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard. You just have to flick a switch, find a rich seam of something and do it. And then do it again a different way. And then do it again in a different way. Sitting around on your phone for hours, waiting for something to dry, something to work, a set to be put up, and you just have to be available. You do 15 minutes work and you're sitting on your hole again. And this is like, it's fine if you're getting $5 million for this, but like our faves are just sweating their lives out.
Jobbing actors get paid scale, so they get paid the basics.
Yeah.
Another thing about Creators is it was one of the few recent science fiction films where all of the sets were physical.
Wow.
They were all built. Carpenters, electricians.
Holy
there was
shit.
images of it online. I saw a TikTok where one of the people that worked as a carpenter or a set designer on the show, on the actual movie, shared videos and footage and images of the sets. It looked like a film made in the 90s. It was gorgeous.
Amazing.
It was like physical stuff. So it was no green screen.
Yeah.
There's no CGI. It was CGI, but it wasn't to the extent of we're going to put the world in here.
Yeah.
It was a case of
like Nick Fury is sitting nowhere holding nothing.
Yeah. This was a full set built. It was set on the moon, but they had all these bases that they were all in. They were all physical sets. And it's just, now, here's the thing as well, and we had this conversation off recording a while ago back in my gaff. There is, and I see this because I'm a collector of physical media. I still am. And I'm revisiting old physical media a lot and purchasing old physical media of late. There is a huge resurgence in the demand for physical media.
The kids deserve it. The kids deserve to have good shit. They deserve to have nice things. And Spotify and everything was a nice distraction there for a while. But when you find out there's no benefit to the artist of you listening to their stuff nonstop. Like they grew up knowing that they pay for, like, the Napster generation knew they could just get stuff for free. But we are post that. We are at the point now where the kids want to be paying someone. They understand the value of things. Yeah. And they want to be paying something. They want something to look at. Yeah. And I kind of love...
Something tactile. Physical.
Yeah, I remember Bono consulting with iTunes back in the 2000s to create a situation, where iTunes could have album art that they could flick through. And it never happened. But he's like, there used to be an art to the cover. There used to be an art to the inlay booklet. There used to be all this. And like...
inlay booklets was a big thing.
Yeah.
Massive.
We were away and we brought the car. And I didn't know. I've signed up to a new mobile plan, so I don't know what the fuck was going to happen with roaming. So we're just playing CDs in the car. And Rebecca would ask me for the book because she wanted to see the words, like, as we went along.
Love it.
And I was handing it back, and you're like, "This is digging up dinosaurs."
Mommy, what does "what fuck you I won't do to tell me" mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Mommy, what are the teachers of peaches?
Sometimes I do not pass it back. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh no," and then I do selective
Bring
copying.
that shit in. What is he bringing in?
Yeah.
What's the shit?
Yeah. Hopefully nobody starts singing, Michael, you're the boy with all the sticky lips, double on my sticky lips. But yeah, we're just
That's
like...
a good skipping song.
By the way, the kids have fallen in love with Ash in a big bad way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they won't let me take it out, so that's good. Anyway, speaking of taking it out, well done, everybody. I know, this is quite a thirsty episode.
Yeah,
but Wayne, thank you for walking us through the absolute catastrophe that was the Flash movie.
If only I could actually do it at flash speed, it would have been over quicker. But it was, disastrous piece of shit. Is that a podcast?
I think that might be a podcast.
I think that might be a Pubcast.
Folks,
That's
you for
a number
watching.
Wang.
Thank you for listening. Hopefully this new setup, and thank you to our new sponsors.
Thanks
The
again
TH.
to the Thomas House. He's a
also-
bunch of roids.
Yeah, they are.
Look, really, thank you for having us, and thank you for letting us use your space.
Kev's the
And the
best
tasty
looking,
pints.
spread it around.
Tasty pints and the peanuts.
One of the
just-
best pints of Guinness in Dublin, I have to say.
Ah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
look, honest to God. So Thomas House on Thomas Street, right across from Vicar Street. So if you're ever in a gig in Vicar Street, bounce across afterwards and have a pint. Or bounce across beforehand and have a pint. But it
Loads
is a
of pints.
fantastic spot. And we've been coming here for years.
Yep.
Donkeys.
Yep.
And you two frequent the place more often than I do.
They let proles in here. They let me in here.
Yeah.
Even though it's full of the coolest people in
Yeah,
Dublin.
you'll generally see us here on a Pazuzu night dancing our asses off.
Yeah, Pazuzu was a night where the DJ plays fucking everything.
It's DJ's revenge. No requests. Shut up and behave yourself. This is what's happening.
And you know
yeah.
all the things, and you will love all the things, even if you hate yourself for loving the things.
Yeah. Last Saturday of every month in the TH. See you there.
Okay, folks, this has been Pubcast. I've been Wayne.
I've been Kim.
Jill.
Till next time, folks, have a good one.
Bye.